Welcome to Toastmasters Bay to Bay, featuring speakers from San Francisco to Monterey. Sounds like a rap tune, huh? Speakers from San Francisco to Monterey. My name's Maurice. I'm your Toastmaster tonight. I'm feeling festive. I got my Christmas tie on. Everyone's in a happy mood. And we have a special meeting today. We have 2 speakers and 2 evaluators, and that's not how it normally works in Toastmasters. We have a speaker. That person gives a speech, and then we evaluate that speaker to kind of give tips and pointers because we all want to improve our public speaking. And that's the main purpose of Toastmasters, is to get better at public speaking. If any of you are wondering, how can I become a Toastmaster? This is District 4, and you can go to our website, which is d4tm.org. So it's www.d4tm.org. And today we have 2 speakers, like I was saying. One is Galina Fedorova, and she is doing speech number 5, which is body language. Each one of our speeches in our manual have different types of categories. And her speech is number 5, which is body movement, speaking with your body to help improve your speech. So please welcome Galina Fedorova.
Winter, Tahoe. Beautiful sunny day at Squaw Valley Ski Resort. It was snowing all night last night, and today is the day to ski. And you don't have to be a ski guru to know that. As you enter Ski Resort at 7:30 a.m. already there is a long line by the world-renowned chairlift. Local ski bums, Bay Area diehards, and foreign tourists from warm climate countries brought in by diesel buses. What they are doing there, they don't know. Work is the last thing on ski instructors' mind. As a wife of a part-time ski instructor, I know that really well. They couldn't sleep at night, waking up every hour, peeking through the window and imagining themselves skiing on the soft and dry powder. They are praying that they will have no students, or that they will get an expert level skier who just wants to be shown around. But reality can be cruel. In the ski terms, today is an ideal powder day. And there is a saying, there are no friends on a powder day. Today, I am too slow for my husband and my son. As I'm trying quickly put on my skis, looking forward to skiing with my family, I see them flying by me, and I could only hear their echo, "See you by the ski school." Oh well, as I get to the ski school located on the top of the mountain, I can see ski instructors are already lined up for their assignments for the hour. I see my husband there, part-time ski instructor. He's looking around, calculating his seniority level and evaluating his chances of not getting a student. In the meantime, full-time ski instructors getting the best assignments, advanced level group lessons, expert level private lesson. Group is dwindling, and I see my husband there, standing in a quiet anticipation of conquering that slope behind him. His muscles are tense. He is ready to go as there are no more students in the vicinity. Suddenly, his face changes. His eyes starting to dart around as if he suddenly lost his only child. I look around, and what do I see? Any guesses? A group of men from India slowly making their way to the sign, "First-time lessons." Wearing oversized coats, as if thinking the bigger the coats, the warmer they will be. They're struggling to get to the signs. Their hands are on the side of their heads. They're sweating. Not knowing what to do with their skis, they have them crisscrossed under their arms, holding on to them for dear life. Their boots are wide open, making it even harder to walk. Snow is pretty deep. It gets inside of the boot, making jeans they wear very wet. Behind them, digging through the snow, are their wives, carrying large backpacks full of homemade food and change of clothing. They're the ones picking up all the debris of poles and gloves and everything else their husband lost. It is painful to watch. And my first reaction is going to help them. But then I look at their faces and they're full of excitement that I can't help but start laughing. Then I see ski school manager pointing with his pen to my husband and to the sign, first time lessons. At this point, I am hysterical. Not knowing what to do, I turn around because I knew that my laughter will not be appreciated at the moment, but decide to stick around and watch, anticipating a great storytelling session in the evening. 2 hours pass by quickly, and I wouldn't say that the group did well or that they learned how to ski. Skiing is not an intuitive sport and might be a hard concept to grasp for a highly analytical person. But then when the group returns in 2 hours, I see that everyone, including my husband, smiling. He congratulates the group and invites them to come the following day, knowing they will never return. At the ski school, instructors meet my husband with cheers. His ski school manager tells them, "You can have a couple of hours off." And as I'm quickly trying to go and grab my skis, I see my husband flying past by me, and I could only hear his echo, "See you in 2 hours." Fellow Toastmasters, there are no friends on a powder day. Thank you.
Great speech, great speech. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I noticed that accent. I'm thinking, what, Australian?
I am Russian.
Whoa.
Russian in the snow, it matches.
Of course. Is that where you learned how to ski?
No, I've learned here, actually.
Wow.
Because I'm from South Russia and we don't have snow.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, tell me a little bit about your club. How long have you been a Toastmaster? How many contests have you done?
I've been a Toastmasters for 2 years. Our club is San Mateo Pro Masters. It's a breakfast club. We meet at 7:30 in the morning on Thursdays morning at Mimi's Cafes in San Mateo. Please welcome to join us.
Great, great. So you're skiing, you're a skier, not a snowboarder.
No, I am a skier. I'm kind of following what I can be taught. And since my husband is a ski instructor, he taught me how to ski.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to hearing more speeches from you. Everyone,
Thank you.
Galina Fedorova.
Thank you.
Now, as I said, every speech is followed on with an evaluator. This is to help us improve our public speaking. We give the pros and the cons of how to improve yourself, but what we also like, and keep that in your speech. I want to bring Denet Lewis, and he's going to be the evaluator for Galina. Denet?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most of all, Galina. Thank you for sharing that wonderful story with us. I loved your animation. The way you used your body was excellent for the purpose of this speech, using body language. And also, you dressed entirely appropriate. So your body was very consistent. The whole message you delivered, it was smooth and very consistent. You put in a lot of body movement throughout your speech. I was able to visualize what was going on. So for that, I thought it worked very well. And congratulations on giving that wonderful speech. There were a few areas where I was left at times thinking, where are you going with this speech? I wasn't sure. What was the key takeaway you wanted me to have? In the end, I think it was mostly just to entertain me and to share a wonderful story and experience, but I'm not sure if you wanted to have a more substantial takeaway or just basically entertainment and a fun story. For me, it was a fun story, which I enjoyed. And then at times, I noticed you almost got slightly over-animated. At the end, when you were interviewing with the Toastmaster, I found it was much more natural. The way you were just communicating with our Toastmaster seemed to flow. So I'd like to see if maybe you could incorporate some of the natural feeling of speaking that you had when you're speaking with the Toastmaster or a one-on-one relationship, and share it so that everyone in the audience feels like you're speaking just one-on-one and using your hand movement to describe the story as if you were just sharing it with one person. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I visualized it. Makes me want to get up there and go skiing. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Denet. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, what happens if I stay with Toastmasters? Can I become a professional speaker? Well, we are going to give you a tape segment of Cheryl Roush. Now, Cheryl is a distinguished Toastmaster. That's the highest level you can go. She is also an accredited speaker. She helps people professionally with their speeches. And this is going to tell a little bit about her company, which is Sparkle Presentations.
If you were to look at each other right now and say, yep, I'm a spark.
Yep, I'm a spark.
I love Toastmaster audiences. We are the best. No, we really are, because all it takes is a spark to rekindle that.
I do professional coaching, whether it is for marketing, consulting, publishing, because now I've written 13 books and own a publishing company, as well as professional speaking and media interview skills for clients including the San Diego Chargers.
My icebreaker, how many O's did you have in your icebreaker? Holler it out. How many did you have? 45. 45? Did you really, Tony? Thank you for sticking with the program. Mine was only 19.
I've been referred to as the poster child of Toastmasters because my first 3 speeches, I cried. I had tears flooding down my face, not of joy, definitely of nervousness. And thanks to what I've learned in this organization and all the loving and support, I've been able to turn that around, where today I speak in front of groups of thousands of people and keynote close big conferences. It's been a world of good in helping me to find who I am and enhance my own communication and leadership skills. I would not be doing what I'm doing today, nor at the caliber, had it not been for Toastmasters International.
Sparkle Dude Booster number 2. Have only positive thoughts toward yourself and others.
Sparklitude came as a result of seeing that people needed to have more of a positive attitude in their lives. So Sparklitude really means having a sparkling attitude. And it comes from experiences in my own life of having a tragic beginning and now turning it around to help serve others, including individuals and organizations.
Remember how we used to hear garbage in, garbage out? Do you remember hearing that? They lied. It's not true. It's garbage in, garbage sticks. Be really careful what you allow into your subconscious mind. Guard it. That is your supercomputer. And besides that, any day above ground is a good day.
I'm often asked why I joined this organization. I thought it was to become a better employer for those people who worked in my business. I thought that the feedback and the evaluation process that I could learn would be very beneficial to them. I did not know it would make me not only a more effective communicator, but also a better leader, not only in my business, but in my community and in my world.
Now, I know it's powerful in our program that we give feedback. We give positive feedback. I don't even use the word criticism, because Will Rogers once said that it's literally putting your thumb down on someone else. In our organization, we don't put people down, we build them up. We build people.
Toastmasters really changed my life. I had no idea what was in store. As a result of the path that I've taken and how I've really embraced this program, it's made me a better human being and really focused on service to the entire world. It's changed my life, and it'll change anyone else's life who comes into our organization, and we welcome them.
So you can see by Cheryl Roush's example what can happen if you stick with Toastmasters. You may have noticed that in her speech that she was talking about the icebreaker. Well, we have someone who's going to give their icebreaker, which is the very first speech you give at Toastmasters. She was talking about how she was crying and got all nervous. Well, I want to bring on board our second speaker. His name is Mohan Aswathanarayan, and Mohan's going to talk about his uncle's truck. Please welcome Mohan.
Thank you, Toastmaster, and my dear friends. We all encounter many incidents in our life. Many we tend to ignore or neglect, but a very few can have an impact on your mind and can change the course of your life. My dear friends, today I am going to share one such incident which happened in my life, which made me think in an entirely different way and put my life on track. So this particular incident happened in my childhood. I was born and brought up in a very small city where I did all my schooling. About 25 kilometers away from my city, there was a small village where my uncle and my grandparents used to live there. The village was so beautiful that every weekend I was tempted to go to my village. The village had around like 5-6 mountains around it, and each mountain had a small forest at the bottom of the mountain. And every weekend, like, I was so keen to go there with my friends to go to this mountain, and I used to plan with all my friends to climb one mountain and the next weekend the other mountain, and then roam around in that forest. Overall, like, I would say, like, I had a very great time in my village. The thing is, the village was so beautiful that I started neglecting my studies, and then, like, I used to go to my village and then used to bunk my classes, and I used to go to my village and just used to enjoy with my friends. In the same village, my uncle had a very big business. The kind of business he had is like a today's supermarket, I would say. Like, he had a grocery shop, he had a small medical shop, he had a grinding machine, he had a coffee making machine, he had a garment shop, you name it, he had it. Since I used to go every weekend to my village, I was kind of interested in his business and started helping him out in his business. Slowly I was very much so much interested that I started helping him out, and whenever he used to go on trip, I started doing his business all by my own. And whenever he used to go on trip, like, the entire day I used to do the business all by myself, and at the end of the day, when I used to count the money, I used to feel I am the richest in this world. The thing is, in those days we used to earn around 50 to 60 bucks a day, and that money I used to feel like I'm the richest in this world. I was around like 10 or 12 years old at that time. That used to give me a sense of happiness that I started completely neglecting my studies. So overall, my village life, like going around with my friends and having this business and seeing the money, the kind of money I used to see in my childhood, it made me entirely neglect my studies, and even my parents used to say, like, you should study and you should do something to put your career on track. I used to say, no, I will do this business and I can be rich guy when I become in the future. But then one fine day, like, my uncle wanted to buy a truck. I think it was around when I was in 16 or 17 years old. My uncle wanted to buy a truck, and he bought the truck. In India, like, when we buy a truck, we only get the engine, not the complete body. So we need to go to the bodybuilding shop and get the body built for that particular engine. So it will take around like 2 to 3 days to do that. I went with my uncle to the bodybuilding shop, and we spent like 2-3 days to build the body. And one final day, the painter came and asked my uncle, whose name you want to write on this truck? My uncle instantly told his 3 kids' name. At that moment, I really felt bad about myself, because all the time I used to feel like I am part of their own family, and I used to think as if, like, whatever the business I am doing is all mine, and whatever the time I am spending there is all fruitful. But the moment he told to write only his 3 kids' name, that's when I felt like, what am I doing? So I need to think something about myself, and I need to do something for my own good. That's when I thought about my parents, whatever they used to say, and then thought, the thing which I can do good right now is to put my time on studies and do something good about it. It took me a while to get a good grade, but then finally it did happen, and after some time, like after 2-3 years, I started getting good grades. All in all, I would say I had a very good time in my village, spending time with my friends, in that village, and I also had a chance to learn a lot of business tricks with my uncle, and finally it's like a godsend message to me with this very small incident to think about my own career and come up with my own thing in my life. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, thank you. So Mohan, how long have you been a Toastmaster and what club are you with?
It's been like 5 to 6 months I've been with Toastmaster. Our Toastmaster club is a Kannada Toastmaster club. It's a very unique Toastmaster club. It's the first time we actually created this. It's an Indian regional language. When we speak in our Toastmaster club, we speak in our own regional language.
So how would you say, welcome Toastmasters and fellow guests in your own language?
Namaskara, suswagata.
Wow, that's pretty simple. So how would you say, you're a very beautiful woman, I'd like to write a speech about you?
That's a good question to ask.
I'm just joking around. But that was very good for a first-time speech. I mean, I didn't hear any pauses. There were no tears. I mean, didn't you think that was a good speech? Yes. Mohan, I look forward to hearing your second speech and others after that. Thank you very much. So now, again, we go to our evaluation stage, and I'll just repeat to you that this is to help build the speaker. We want to show the good, strong points that the speaker has, but also where they may make improvements. To do that, I want to bring Ken Mann. Ken?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Mohan. Mohan gave his Icebreaker speech today, which, as we talked about earlier, is the first speech that most Toastmasters give. And it's a very daunting task because to get up here and actually give that speech takes a lot of courage. So I commend Mohan on having the courage to get up and give that speech. I want to focus on the things that Mohan did really well, and then I'm going to give him a few things for suggestions on how he can improve his speech. And then, of course, give him some encouragement to come back and speak again. The first thing that I noticed about Mohan is he stepped away from the podium and showed an air of confidence in front of the audience. That's very natural for a speaker to do. It's also very unnatural for a first-time speaker to do, so I commend you on that. You also opened up with a story about yourself. It allowed us to get to know Mohan on a personal basis. That was a very good tactic in connecting with the audience. The other thing that I noticed is throughout your speech, you had a nice opening, good body, good conclusion. You controlled your nervousness in front of the audience. I noted no nervousness while you were standing up here. And usually for those people that aren't Toastmasters, what you'll see is people fill their speech with ums, ahs, you knows, like, you mean, things that detract from the speak. We call them filler words. He had a great delivery, nice and smooth. I detected none of that. Excellent job. The two areas that I would recommend for you to focus on, and for those people that are not Toastmasters, each speech is designed to help you develop a specific skill. The speech we heard earlier today was the body language, how to use body language when you're giving a speech. So I would like to see more of that, using more of your hands, more dynamic gestures to tell your story. You injected humor in your story, which helped. There was definitely a lot of opportunity to use your hands more often, like if you were working on the car or if you were doing other things. The other thing that I would recommend is a little more vocal variety. You came across with a very good speech, but I also thought there was an opportunity in the speech to have voice inflection and dynamic voice changes that help add to the speech. Overall, I thought it was an excellent speech. I personally enjoyed it, and I certainly hope that I get to see you speak again in the future. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, that is a basic Toastmasters meeting where we have two speakers and then they get evaluated by different evaluators. You may be thinking, well, how do I become a Toastmaster? What do I need to do? Well, if you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, again, we're District 4, and you go to our website, which is www.d4tm.org, and you'll see a little link that you can click on that'll say, find a company. Find a club. I'm a recruiter. I'm always looking for people. But when you click on that link, you put in the city that you're in or maybe your zip code, and it'll pull up the clubs that are in your area. And you can also put in the time that you want to do it. Some people want to do it during lunchtime. Some people are early morning risers. Some people are late at night. You can put all that in and it'll search a club for you. Now I know what you're thinking. It sounds like fun, but I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to be in front of all these cameras. I understand. You don't have to do that. This is just for people who want to be in front of the camera, who want to try a new experience. When you go to a Toastmasters club, it is normally in a room that is basically like a conference room at a company. And one speaker will go up and give a speech, and then the next person will follow up. We do the two speeches together usually. And then we do what's called table topics. Now, table topics is impromptu speaking. That's where someone will come up and look at you, ask you a question, and you have 1 to 2 minutes to give an answer. You don't know what the question is. You don't have time to think or write up a speech. You have to give an answer right away. That helps you build your impromptu charisma. And we do about 15 to 20 minutes of that, and then we go on to the evaluation stage. And that's where the two evaluators will come up one at a time and evaluate the speech. So in the whole meeting, you'll have two speakers that come up, sometimes three. Then you'll have your table topics, and then you'll go on to the evaluation stage. You won't be in front of a camera unless you want to come to Toastmasters Bay. And again, you can find us at www.d4tm.org. The tricky thing with this is not only do you have cameras and you have an audience and everyone's looking at you, but there's an elevator here. I mean, if I push it down, I sink. And then you come back up. I mean, who put that in here? What? That's crazy. So I hope to see you at the Toastmasters Club. I'm looking forward to hearing more speeches from all of you. And again, Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. Thank you.